because you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Oh, you're so condescending. Your goal is never ending. We don't want nothing from you. Your life is tried and jaded, boring and confiscated. If that's your best won't do. Whoa, whoa. We're right, yeah, we're free, yeah, we'll fight, yeah, you'll see. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. No way. We're right, yeah, we're free, yeah, we'll fight, yeah, you'll see. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It is good to be kicking off the week with all of you guys here on this beautiful afternoon here in Pittsburgh. 73 degrees today. Gotta love that. But yeah, we are live and gonna have an awesome show. We got Scott DeGroat of Woke Society is gonna be hanging out with us for the first hour to hour and a half of today's broadcast before he goes live and does his own thing up on his Woke Society channel. So looking forward to that. And yeah, should be a fun start to the week. But before we do get started, jump in the chat, say hello. Let me give you all a shout out, and then we'll get this thing officially started at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Light our souls, Q-Boys, Lucy Andrews, Cushion on. Good to see you all out there over on D-Live. Good to see you guys over on Rumble as well. I see Joe Elaine modding the chat as always. Thank you so much. UK Patriot 55 checking in from across the pond, and Esther G13 popping in over on Rumble as well. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you guys haven't done so already. And yeah, thank you guys who all tune in over there. Shout out to all of you guys on pill.net, the exclusive place for hour number 2 of today's broadcast and every day's broadcast. We do exclusive content over there, and we love all the fam in the comfy bunker. So jump in the chat if you're over there. Let's see who's hanging out. We got Floyd, Due Diligence. What's up, Floyd? We got Delia down in Arizona. There's Joe, of course, modding the chat over there as well. You're the best, Joe. Thank you so much. Patriots 714 in the house. Lightsphere Lance, great to see you, my friend. And we got Ken Chris, HL Paco. What's up, guys? Good to see you both hanging with us today. And who else? Let's see. We have Floyd with a Margarita Monday cookie. Thank you so much. Smallwood for Trump. Welcome. Good to see you. R. Harrell in the house as well. And Tom Ford, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I hope you're having an awesome day over there in New Jersey. We got Barbara Robbins, Running Patriot. Good to see you both out there. Vanita 71, welcome. Cali Patriot 14, John, Dad of 4. Great to see you guys as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Hope you're well. Clover Lily in the house. Great to see you, Clover. And Dizzy Rockin' 1. Don Ritchie, 17. Space Cookie. Filter Dog 1 says he survived. Good. Glad to see you here, buddy. Range Pony in the house. Nancy's Salty Beaver. Zorton PR out there as well. What's going on, all you guys? Incorruptible Guardian, welcome. Sig your Dragon Slayer, good to see you. Chops, ITMC popping by. Same with Mad Joker and Flawless in USA. What's going on? Good to see you. DX, welcome. 315 Russ is Adel. Would you be up for a top 10 list today? I think Scott would get a kick out of this one. Well, unfortunately, Scott's going to be gone before we get to that part of the show. But if you want to jump in after Scott around 5:30, I'd be up for that, because I think I'm going to wrap up a little bit early today just because I'm exhausted. I was up late last night, then up again early this morning. I thought I was going to have a few minutes to kind of close my eyes today and just kind of get a little refresher, and it just never happened. Just one thing after another, one fire after another, and I'm feeling very lethargic and very, very tired today. So once Scott's out, I'm gonna be looking to wrap up. But Russ, if you want to pop in after Scott finishes up, do a top 10, we'll finish with that. I'd be happy to have you on. Filter Dog 1, thank you for the shades. I was not going to need these anymore today. Hilarious. Thank you, Filter Dog, for the shades. Tweety 52, welcome. And Pat McFly's out there. Good to see you. Mikey Baseball, Dave 75, Zorton PR with a Kansas afternoon. Thank you, Zorton. I appreciate that. Cheers, buddy. Hang 10, Norm. Great to see you. Khaleesi, Khalees Free 20. That's the Khaleesi. Misfortune, Eagle Freedom, Loki 2517. Welcome. Sigurd Dragon Slayer, Lucid 517. Team Visine out there as well. Ohio Kimmy, thank you so much for the cookie. I appreciate it. Donkey Punch, good to see you. Cap 1Q in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you as well. Vanita 71 gifted a 1-month bronze tier subscription. Mikey Baseball got it. Thank you guys very, very much. Thumper Rose, good to see you, Thumper. Hope all is well. And Packers 412, Lyle, Jenny. Lyle, how you doing, man? How you doing? I hope everything turned out all right. Jenny said that you were not struggling, that's not the right word, but you had a concerning nosebleed this weekend. Is everything all right? Hope everything is patched up and good to go. Patriot Donnie, thank you for the shifts. It's hard for me to watch live shows with work now, but always watch replays. Thank you for the support, Donnie. I really appreciate the ship, man. That's an incredibly generous way to start the show. Thank you. Dig one deeper. What's up? Sherry Pittsburgh with a cookie. Good to see you, Sherry. Repping the 412. Let's go. Tracy S. Welcome. Target Driver and Kelly's Free. Yeah. I don't read good. I try to sound it out as best I can, but I got hooked on the phonics as a kid, and I haven't been the same since. Maxanon, good to see you, Max. Hope you're well. All right, guys. Always in Texas. Welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's get this show underway. No me for you. Pensitter, what's up, guys? Let's go. We'll be back in a few minutes.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MSM, and now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong, stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design. The patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they can find. They're just slaves in the system to the roles they're assigned. That's sad. The good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just our raising our boots. These demons all weaponized, now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the boot and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they wanna use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adult Nero, take the mic and take flight to the song.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adult Nero.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Thank you guys so much for kicking off your week with us here on 412 Productions. We got another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is April 8th, 2024, day of the apocalypse, the eclipse, so much going on, and we've got an amazing panel for you guys. We've got my OG crew, Drunk Pinata and Tennessee Homesteader, riding shotgun with us, and of course, Scott DeGroat of Woke Society is our special guest for the afternoon. Scott, welcome. Great to have you back, man. I hope you survived the apocalypse, the eclipse. I hope you're seeing clearly still. How's your day going, man? You're on mute. Your Zoom is muted.
I was I was outside a lot with the fam trying to see what we could see. We've had insane cloud cover out here out in Nashville. We got the glasses yesterday. We were all prepped for it, and I think we only saw it for like maybe 5 seconds, and as the clouds cleared up, and it got really dark out, which was pretty cool. And then that was it, man. That was it. And as I said before, the demon portals did not open up anywhere, at least not around here. The upside down is not awakened, and everything seems to be okay. Besides that, man, it was nothing really.
Let me ask you this before I go to my OGs here. CERN's firing back up their particle accelerator today on the day of the eclipse. Do you have any thoughts on CERN and that whole thing? There's a lot of people that think that's like a tool of the devil that's meant to open up portals to different dimensions or like jump us from one timeline to another. Do you buy into that stuff, or what do you?
I got into all the CERN stuff last week because it was something I never really looked at, and I went down all the rabbit holes, and they were all really fun. And honestly, dude, I think CERN is nothing but fake science, and everything that goes along with it is. I just think CERN is like almost like a god to the scientist, and it's a religion in itself. And I honestly think when you look at CERN, it's just another means to pump money into it, to money launder. And it's to keep these super wicked smart scientists, and they are smart people, in this mousetrap of just retardation. And I'm going to be talking about this on my own show tonight. And I've been talking about this for a while about how a lot of the stuff that's taught to us, even with science and what's out in the universe and planets and all these subjects, It's just not what they've been telling us. And I just think CERN is just is just a god to these people. And if you guys want to see an awesome show that makes fun of the entire religion of science, go watch Three Body Problem on Netflix. It's a gigantic troll of the scientific community, dude. And they make fun of CERN specifically. And the opening scene is just all these physicists just angry, annoyed that everything they've been taught their entire lives about the universe and the world is not what's coming out of their test. And a little spoiler alert, the woman that heads the entire CERN project, she kills herself. And because she can't handle the truth that everything they've thought to be known as truth is not the reality. So it's a really, really good series. I don't ever really recommend Netflix series too often these days because they're usually propaganda pieces, but that one is really good. It came out like maybe a couple weeks ago. But yeah, dude, that's my take on CERN. I think CERN's just all theoretical mumbo jumbo, and I don't think they really do anything that even the rabbit hole downer that I love to go down is not opening portals or any shit like that. That's just my take, though.
Ah, right on. That's interesting. I like the theory, the overall theory that it's like a mousetrap, a way to keep really smart people from discovering meaningful things and like to keep them
It's a
busy.
loop. It's one big
Yeah.
loop. It's literally a fucking loop, and it's
It literally is a loop.
yeah. And they're telling us they're smashing particles that no one has ever seen, or you can't provide proof of it. And I think it's the biggest machine ever created in the world, and to maintain it, and you just keep getting funding and more funding and more funding. And to me, it's no different than NASA. And you just keep putting these scientists in, and they just on to the next crop of scientists. That's all I think it really is.
European NASA. I like that basically. Love
Yeah.
it, man. Love it. All right, let's say hi to the rest of the panel. We got Tennessee Homesteader checking in. Happy Monday, TN. I hope you had a good weekend, buddy.
Yeah, I was trying to make money off of the eclipse, but there's fewer and fewer people you can make money off of. So I was selling these and they didn't sell too well.
That's awesome, dude.
Actually, a hat tip to Danny because she posted one similar to that. So I kind of pilfered it and modified it for Covidiots.
I love it. I love it. That's great. I hadn't seen that, so
I didn't make any money though.
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. You got at least.
I had a few people try to wear them inside out though.
Awesome to have you aboard, TN. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a drunk Pinata. Happy Monday, buddy. I hope your weekend was good as well. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. I fortunately did have some good weather, so I got to see the whole thing and with the eclipse, and it was pretty cool. Reminded me there was I think it was 2-3 years ago. There was a blood moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. It kind of reminded me of that. It's kind of similar because with that one would have been at sunset. So so it's just you kind of just see things a little differently because you can look straight at it, and so it just kind of looks like it's hanging there, like it just changes the optics of it, and then it kind of feels like if everyone's ever been to Vegas and you've been to like Paris or whatever, and it's like or someplace where they try to make it seem like it's outside, but it's really inside a building. That's kind of the way it feels because it's like you're it feels like it's sunset or it's like the end of the day where the light is dimming, but the source of where it's coming from is overhead as opposed to on the horizon. So it feels eerie because it feels similar, but it's not.
That's cool. Yeah. I remember when it was during Trump's presidency, there was an eclipse that passed right over Pittsburgh. I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I went out and looked at that, and it was neat to see. It was pretty cool to see. So I was kind of bummed that our skies are so gray and cloudy today. We wouldn't be able to see anything, even if it was passing over my area, which it wasn't. But good stuff, guys.
That was the year the Pirates won the World Series, right?
1979. Yeah, maybe a little before my time. That's a cheap shot, TN.
Yeah, it was.
Fucking cheap
Okay.
shot.
The Penguins won the Stanley Cup.
That was 2000. That was more. Yeah, I think it was 2017. So we can celebrate that. No, but hey, 8-2 to start the season, baby. We're going all the way this year.
Enjoy it now. Enjoy it now.
Until they go on like one of their 4-30 streaks in the middle of the summer, like they always do.
Yeah.
But hey, it's been a fun start. So hopefully we continue to raise the Jolly Roger all season long. Should we just do a 2-hour sports talk show today? I think the audience would fucking love that. All right, let me take care of our sponsors, and we'll jump in to the discussion and some of the news going around today. Our first sponsor is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com. This is run by our friend Jolene up in Montana. She's an herbalist and a health coach. She makes these wellness products up there. They are absolutely fantastic. Check out the white pine needle extract. That's her newest one, a concentrate version of the sunshine and pine needle tea. Great for detoxing the body. So great to have in the medicine cabinet for sure. Lots of CBD and hemp products that are top notch. All the ingredients for them are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms. And the fact that it's so local, and Jolene has such a good relationship with the suppliers of the ingredients, allows her to offer an amazing product at a great value. The prices are amazing. The flavors are great too on the CBD oil tinctures. Flavors like orange ginger, bergamot, huckleberry, peppermint, cinnamon bliss, cherry, even the unflavored is incredibly enjoyable because the product is so clean and pure. There's CBD oil for pets, Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies that'll get a good night's sleep. And check out the Arnica salve for your sore joints and muscles, the topical cream. You can get that with or without the CBD infused right on in there. After the CBD products, we have things like fire cider, really good for clearing your sinuses. If you're suffering from allergies this spring, the fire cider could be really, really nice to have to offer some relief if you're feeling stuffed up. Elderberry tonic provides a boost to your immune system. Another thing that's really good to have in the medicine cabinet in case you feel something coming on. I mentioned the teas, the sunshine and pine needle tea. There's a few other tea blends to take a look at here. If you're a tea drinker, they're all extremely enjoyable. They all taste great. I highly recommend you go take a look at those. And of course, the critter juice, the natural insect repellent, keeping the bugs and mosquitoes off you this summer. This stuff works great. It smells good and doesn't feel oily and gross on your skin. I absolutely swear by it. I talk about it all the time. I get destroyed by mosquitoes when I'm outdoors during the summer. Keeping this in my golf bag, keeping one in my truck, keeping one by the front door. I try not to leave home without it if I know I'm going to be spending any significant amount of time outside. Because if I don't put it on, I will seriously have at least 3 or 4 or 5 welts somewhere on my arms and legs. I spray this stuff on, and I rarely, if ever, get bit. So I can't recommend it enough. Promo code 412 gets you 10% off anything you see here in the store. So please go to earthgardenbotanicals.com, load up a cart, use that promo code, say hi to Jolene with us. And she sent me a message today. George, her husband, who had heart surgery, is recovering well and doing great. And I want to thank everybody out there for all your prayers and well wishes. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. You've been supporting the business, and I can't thank you guys all enough. So I really appreciate that, and a big thank you, and we love you from Jolene and the whole Earth Garden Botanicals family. Also, we have Integral Networks. integralnetworks.com. This is an amazing company as well. America First Patriots. They run a third-party IT company. They provide IT services to businesses of all sizes and setups, and they help them save time, effort, and money on their IT. They do that with a range of products, things like data backup and recovery, cybersecurity. They'll help you install Cisco devices if you need to install like a major network. Those things are not easy to deal with. I actually one of my first jobs out of college was me and my buddy started a small IT company here in Pittsburgh, and we had to install a Cisco device at a car dealership, and oh my God, was that a freaking nightmare. And thank God we had someone help us with that. But those are the kind of things they can help consult and work you through. They also offer the Integral Secure Workspace, which is really awesome. Basically, what that is you could set up virtual work environment, a desktop for your users on an Integral Secure server, offering 2 major advantages. The first being that You can control all the software and applications, make sure everything's updated on the right versions for use centrally, because they're all logging in to access it on that server. So you don't have to worry about what everyone's using on their own individual machines. The big advantage here, though, is your data stays far more secure, because you don't have 100 people with their own local hard drives with your company data on it to do their work. They're logging into that server, accessing your data, then logging off. So that data only has to exist in one place for the most part. So it's way easier to protect and keep secure. And they do so much more, guys. Anything you would expect a help desk or an IT department within an office setting to provide, Integral Networks can step in and do that at a fraction of the cost, because you don't need to hire all those people, have this space, equipment. It's just all of the good without having to build out all of that infrastructure. So it's a really great business model, and one that if you have a small business or any size business, you should reach out to them if you need any help with your IT. 916-545-7646 is a number you can call, or just go to integralnetworks.com and drop them a line. Let them know you heard about them here on 412 Productions. So big thank you to our sponsors and all of you out there who continue to support them. Wherever you're watching, guys, please like the show. If you're on pill.net, please hit that red pill button, repost the show, share the link. And again, thank you guys all so much for being here, hanging out with us today on this Monday afternoon. I want to start today with Donald Trump made a statement on abortion and his stance on a national abortion ban. We'll listen to that and go from there. And very happy to see this.
Lightsabers are finally a reality, and you can own one. This new military flashlight is basically a lightsaber.
There's one simple sugar hack anyone can do to balance glucose levels almost overnight.
Apparently, I have a couple more spots.
The Republican Party will always support the creation of strong.
All right, so I wanted to say, I've been saying for how long, right? For how long that we need that Donald Trump needs to stop even considering a national abortion ban. It'd be unconstitutional, as Roe versus Wade was. He needs to just say it's up to the states, wash his hands clean of it, and not give the left any ammunition against him to use during the 2024 campaign. You guys have heard me say this and harp on this now since the midterms in 2022. So very happy to hear this statement. Take a listen to it in its entirety.
Thriving and healthy American families. We want to make it easier for mothers and families to have babies, not harder. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans, I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious baby. What could be more beautiful or better than that? Today, I'm pleased that the Alabama legislature has acted very quickly and passed legislation that preserves the availability of IVF in Alabama. They really did a great and fast job. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, father, their beautiful babies, and that's what we are. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life. Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people. I want to thank the 6 justices, Chief Justice John Roberts, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Neil Gorsuch, incredible people, for having the courage to allow this long-term, hard-fought battle to finally end. This 50-year battle over Roe v. Wade took it out of the federal hands and brought it into the hearts, minds, and vote of the people in each state. It was really something. Now it's up to the states to do the right thing. Like Ronald Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. You must follow your heart on this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently, and very sadly, a nation in decline. Our nation needs help. It needs unity. It needs us all to work closely together. Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, everyone, we have to work together. We have to bring our nation back from the brink, and that's where it is. It's at the brink, and we will. We will do it. I promise you, we will do it. Always go by your heart, but we must win. We have to win. We are a failing nation, but we can be a failing nation no longer. We will make our nation great. We will make our nation greater than ever before. Thank you very much.
All right, so there he is, and I don't know, is it just me or is the spray tan on our man Donald Trump a little darker than normal? I don't know. He seems like he may have stayed in there a bit too long, but anyway, nonetheless, love the message there. I feel like that's exactly what it should be, nuanced, but again, up to the state. Scott, I'll start with you, man. What's your reaction to Donald Trump's little 4-minute soundbite there?
Dude, I was so happy to knowing that I'd be on your show today, not only because of all the clip stuff, there's always something going down, but you brought it up before you played the video. You've been hammering this for years. And I'm like, of all the days I could have gone on the show, Trump put his announcement, his formal announcement on abortion. And I'm like, oh, dude, he's gonna love this shit. Dude, I can't say anything. I can't nitpick anything bad about what he just said there at all. This is, I am in agreement with you. This is what I think he needed to say. And I'm really happy that's on the record now, because what I think's what I was afraid of Trump doing with this was giving ammunition to already rabid media and rabid TDS supporter, TDS people to give more ammunition to vote against him, right? And I've been saying this in my shows for months now. Majority of people are already set in who they're going to be voting for. We see the poll numbers, the minorities, the independents. They're already coming over in droves to our side. But who are the diehards? How can he reach out to those people? And I think messaging like this will help reach those people for sure. Because how I gauge this is looking at the reaction from conservative media outlets and the liberal outlets. And I can tell you, man, a lot of the conservative outlets that I get poll news from for my shows, they call this wishy-washy. They call this not strong enough. And that's how I know this is a good thing, because you're never going to bridge that gap, especially with this one issue, unless you have to play in the spectrum. And the way I look at all this stuff with politics, outside of politics, and why I tell my audience all the time, I could never be a politician, because you have to, what I saw Trump do, this is pure politics. Do I think Trump believes everything he just said and his own personal beliefs? Maybe not, probably doesn't. I don't know. But if you're going to play in the spectrum, this is how you have to play the game. And me personally, I couldn't do it, Adel. I'm fully against abortion. Fully against it, and especially just having a baby girl almost 6 months ago. I cannot imagine killing a baby after it was born. It's so spiritually evil to me. But that's just my take. So me being a politician going in and trying to budge with the devil here a little bit, give these people a little bit. I couldn't do it. But in this game, what Trump and what he's doing, he has to do this. And you're going to have the left and conservative media not really happy with him. And I think that's going to play well for Trump coming into 2024.
Yeah, I think so too. We talked about this a bunch at many different times on this channel. With an issue like abortion that's so hotly contested and so nuanced, you need to shift the Overton window slowly. If you come out 100% against it in all situations, you're going to frighten and alienate and you'll turn people into single issue voters against you. You have to be extremely careful. And I thought it was really, really strong and powerful the way he came out and made sure he said, rape, incest, and, to save the mother's life, those need to be preserved. And then just said after that, it's up to the states, and he did it in a way where he didn't even put his own personal. We don't even know what Donald Trump believes personally on this issue based on that, right? Like he basically said it's not my place to dictate down from the position I'm running for. And that's, I think, what all of us really want from a president or a senator or a U.S. senator or a U.S. congressperson is that, or anyone that works in government at all for that reason, is to stay in the lane that our Constitution says you should stay in, right? Like we have a contract between the people and the government. It's our Constitution. Abide by that. Stay in your lane. Don't try to step outside of that. And this thing will work pretty smoothly. It's when you have people that are trying to expand their powers or overreach or dictate into places where they're not supposed to have any influence that things start to get weird and uncomfortable. So I think that Donald Trump, I couldn't have written a better statement myself, honestly. Let me open it up to Tien and Pinata. Do you guys have any reaction to the soundbite?
He just codified what he had said before. I found it interesting that he also chose the subject to slam on Lindsey Graham. He put
That's
out
coming up.
so okay.
Yeah, we'll do.
So it's the right thing to do from a president and from a federalist perspective. It's a state issue. I think people need to step up to the plate because the whole aspect of day of birth or post birth, there's no such thing as abortion. That's murder.
Yeah.
You can argue that it's murder before that. I have no quarrel with the application of that, but there comes a point in time where that's no longer a clump of cells, quote unquote, to use their terminology. It's a full-blown baby. And the fact that in today's technology, 3, 4, how many months before full gestation period can a baby be removed from the mother's body and kept alive and be completely healthy in the end, right? When they grow up, look at Pam and Radix's daughter.
26.
Right?
I think 26 weeks is what they were at.
Yeah. So, and even though it should be a state issue, I think it's also that at the state level, people need to step up and put some form of limits as to the term, to how far out can you? I mean, how long does it take you to make a decision to have an abortion if you had an incest situation or a rape situation type of thing, right? Not from a federal perspective. I'm not speaking about that. I think that people should vote in their own states and have that. But my personal opinion is there should be some form of limit when you get into the third trimester. And certainly after birth, that's murder. At that point, it's murder.
Absolutely.
But that's detracting from what Trump said because I'm giving my personal opinion. What Trump said is correct, and the fact that both sides doesn't like it because it's the extreme in both sides.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's well said. There was something to your point, Tien, about like when the baby becomes like when the baby can survive outside of the mother's womb.
Survivability.
Yeah, like Steven Crowder, love him, hate him. I know there's a lot of controversial opinions about him, whatever. But when he used to do that, change my mind stuff on campuses, and he did a couple of those on the abortion issue. And one thing that he always said that would kind of get the students that were debating him to take a second and maybe even reconsider is when he said, so 4 inches of birth canal separates a life from not a life, and I think when you put it in those terms,
Right.
when you ask somebody, like, it really makes them think, like, wait a minute, like that's nonsensical, right? Like, this thing doesn't exist until it travels 4 inches outside of the mother's body, and then all of a sudden now, like, it's different than it was while it was in the mother's body. Like, it just there is I always thought that was an extremely powerful way of putting it. But go ahead, Tiana, if you have more.
It's even shorter than that if you look at that's a natural birth, because if you look at it from a C-section, it's about 2 inches.
Right. That's true.
It's whatever the layer between the uterus and the epidermis. But the yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of nuances in technology today, medical technology, and being able to maintain a child's life. There's almost no excuse for what's going on the left.
I agree.
And it's really, and if you really want proof in a way, to me, it's evidentiary that why they fight so hard or fought so hard to keep sonograms out of the knowledge before you have an abortion. And now that the sonograms are becoming almost 3D, 4K, life size, where you cannot distinguish the baby in the womb from outside the womb when it's born. And why do they fight that? Because their narrative is just a clump of cells. It's not a real human. It's not a real baby. Just falls apart. Because after a few weeks, you start seeing it's a baby.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. They want to. There's a level of emotional and informational manipulation that goes on in these abortion clinics. They don't want you to know your other options. They don't want you to know what support systems are out there. They don't want you to see the sonogram. They don't want you to really consider what you're doing. They want you to mindlessly and heartlessly terminate the pregnancy.
Yeah, they want you to think of it as a tumor.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's disgusting. I want to get Drunk Pinata's thoughts on this as well. Then we'll get to the Lindsey Graham thing. Pinata, you have any thoughts on Trump's soundbite?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two different things that the state will probably have to decide. It is once you become aware and you know that you're become aware, then there's a certain time limit, I guess, of when you can make a decision. And again, biologically, I'm not sure exactly how that would work. But in terms of the exceptions, that's what needed to be said, as far as, because obviously the right answer is it should never happen. But I can understand why people would have room for those exceptions for some people. Myself being adopted, I don't know. I should feel really super strong about this, but I still at the same time, as far I always think you have to err on the side of life for that, because I mean, I almost couldn't have been here potentially based on my situation. So it I always do that, even if it's I preserving life. Okay, where was I going? Okay, he needed to say it. It's going to neuter them as far as they're still going to try. They're still going to misrepresent, but ultimately, it's what's needed as we shift the Overton window. And then the word itself. Oh, sorry, this is where I wanted to go with it. So the word abortion itself, they treat it as if, like you guys are saying, it's a clump of cells. It's a procedure. It's a removal of something that's not living. But really, it's on par with homicide, suicide, murder. Those kinds of the different way that we categorize or you do use different words for different ways people die. But it is a word that means something is dying, just like those other words, that something has died through an action. That's the description. So the way that suicide is different than murder, abortion is the same thing. It's closer to murder, obviously.
Yeah. No,
but
that's
moving that language, because a lot of people for many years were hung up on the phrase safe, legal, and rare. Safe, legal, and rare. That was the propaganda phrase, but that wasn't true. So if you can show that the propaganda was there, and that you can change the connotation of the word, then you will ultimately win in the states battles over time.
I agree. I completely agree. You got to change the culture before you change the politics. And yeah, it's all about shifting that Overton window. So here's Lindsey Graham. He comes out. It's a Graham breaks with Trump on topic of national abortion ban. So Graham quickly responded to the video saying that he respectfully disagrees with President Trump's assertion that abortion is a states' rights issue. Says the pro-life movement has always been about the well-being of the unborn child, not geography. Mr. Graham said in a post on X. Mr. Graham instead called on President Trump to back a 15-week abortion ban, citing the American consensus against late-term abortions. Quote, the science is clear. A child at 15 weeks is well developed and is capable of feeling pain, Mr. Graham wrote. Mr. Graham said
Maybe he's just worried that he's going to actually have to carry those babies to term from those Senate's chamber parties. He's afraid he's not going to have his out.
Mr. Graham said that he would continue to back an abortion ban on the grounds that the child is able to feel pain. However, Mr. Graham also acknowledged that Congress is a long way from such a ban or any such ban. All right, so I'll leave that there.
Graham can still be a promoter for that. He can definitely still do that. He can still be an outspoken person for that. Just be the outspoken person and speak to the states.
Exactly. So, well, let me ask you this, and I'll start with you, Scott, and then if anyone else can chime in. Is Lindsey Graham just religious and hates the idea so much that he'll cut off his nose to spite his face on this, or is this sabotage? Because we saw this in 2022. He brought this up right before the midterms, and Republicans got absolutely hammered on election day because of this issue. Now, there was cheating and there was bullshit that happened. We know there was, but the college vote, the young vote came out in droves. TikTok was filled with videos talking about it. They really, really got out the vote on this issue. And it really, I think, is one of the primary reasons we're not currently enjoying a 15-20 man majority in the House, why we lost the Senate. I truly believe that. Is Lindsey Graham trying to sabotage the Republican Party? Is he just stupid, or is he just, is his moral compass just pointing him in that direction so strongly that he says, I don't even care about power or re-election or anything like that. I'm fighting for what I believe in. What's your take on Lindsey Graham, Scott?
I have a hard time taking Lindsey Graham's opinion on almost anything seriously, but coming from a guy that makes babies and other dudes' asses most likely and doesn't even have children, having a opinion on this it increases that not giving a shit about what he has to say by 10 times more. And I don't know if it's sabotage. It's just got that rhino vibe to it. We want to remain the weak loser party as Republicans, and a surefire path to that, as you just explained, Al, the midterms. Let's double and triple down on that position and have a repeat of those midterms. And obviously, there's fraud. We know that. We get all that. But if you're not going to try to unite the country, this is how you do it, Graham. This is how you have these hard stances, and that's that, dude. And I've seen Trump play nice with Graham throughout these months, right? We've seen him at these rallies. He gets booed every single time, and Trump's like, okay, everybody, and he laughs. I think Trump knows he's got to play nice with him. But as I'm sure you're going to show the audience Trump's truth back in regards to that, it's saying a lot about where Trump wants to bring the party. And Lindsey Graham and a lot of these other rhinos, whether they want to come to terms or not with it, it is Trump's party now. And it has been, and it's going to continue to be after Lindsey Graham is gone, as long as we, the people, are going to keep it going. So I don't know what Lindsey Graham is thinking that, unless he has interest in the abortion clinics or he's got payoffs, dude, or lobbyists. That's the only thing I could possibly think of. But this to me is old Rhino thinking and then wanting to keep that Overton window back to where it was. And it's just not going to play. And it's just not going to play well anymore.
Well, Scott, the last point there about the interest in it, it's one of the things that the Democrats and Republicans use to say we're going to solve this on our side for our side. Vote for us this coming up election. It's one of those things that's always kick the can down the road. They don't actually want to solve a problem. It's just they need that thing. And so I think that's, for me, that would be my thought, is that he just wants it because the establishment Republican GOP needs that as this thing that they fight over every election cycle.
Yep, it's a big moneymaker.
I think there's also an angle here that we need to consider, that the tide in the country towards the feeling towards abortion is shifting. And I think this may be an aspect of trying to read that, because he's looking for a limit on how far into the pregnancy you can abort. He's not looking to ban abortions or anything like that. He's looking to put a limit into what we were talking about, that Graham is. I think Trump is playing the more centrist role and saying, leaving it up to the states, which is we all agree with. But I think that Graham may be reading the tempo of the country, because even in the youth, there's a big polarization in the youth as well, becoming more pro-life. And this is not about whether you can or cannot, it's putting a limit as to how far into the pregnancy you can. So there's something to be, I believe there's something to be said about that. Frankly, I think Graham is going about it the wrong way, because it is having a deleterious effect against the Republican Party, as you guys are mentioning. But I think he's also reading something into the general population feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll just I think, where the culture is going. I know when I grew up in school, dude, we were taught, like, if we were to have a baby, it's like the end of your world. It's the end of your life as you know it. And they put so much fear into, if you have kids early, it's over for you. You're going to lose your golden years, and you're going to be, hamstrung by this child. And I think that institutional lie is crumbling down. I really think it is. And
How long did it start, Scott? Like, because that was definitely prevalent when I was in high school. Like, I graduated 2005, and that was definitely, when you're in your sex ed classes or whatnot, or the abstinence, what do you call them? Assemblies that you would have, where they have like a guest speaker come in and talk about that shit. Like that was definitely the message. Like, babies equal the end of your life. Like, if you get someone pregnant, like, you're fucked. Like, game over for you.
Yeah, but that was, keep in mind, that's teenage pregnancy I think that's where they screwed up in the messaging, in teenage pregnancy versus pregnancy in general.
Yeah, but they give it like such a negative connotation, even yeah,
because
they overcorrected. They tried so much to try to stop teen pregnancy that just extended to any pregnancy.
They stigmatized the pregnancy versus the teenage pregnancy.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely. And why I want to tie this into Trump, you can tell in Trump's other videos that he's put out, he is encouraging families. He's talking about baby bonuses. He's talking about the family being great.
He did that in that video with in vitro fertilization, right?
Yes. So to me, that's showing Trump has the pulse of where the country is going culturally. Like what you said, Tian, about the pro-child, pro-life thinking, and Trump he's latched onto that. And I think when he wins, those policies are going to be a reflection of that. Of American home, incentivizing having more kids, giving single mothers maybe more financial help or opportunities, so they can have, they can eventually have a real family with a father and a mother. Like, you can see this resonating in Trump's policies and his messaging, that where he probably feels, but now he's playing that centrist role, as you guys said. And I think right now that's who he's trying to gauge. He wants those maybe those fence sitters that don't know exactly. And the polling, according to these corporate outlets, it blows my mind that abortion, apparently the Democrats, guys, is the number one issue in this country right now. And that may be true. Like they're that crazy to think that. But if that's the case, that's where Trump's going for that.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of the left, I mean, you have your crazies, but I think a lot of the left wants to keep the option available on some level. But I don't think most of them would agree with late term or post birth, which is just like Trump said, a straight up execution. I think most of them see it as something that should happen either extremely early or rarely in dire circumstances. And that's where Republicans have always failed on this issue, is talking nuance. They just say we want to ban abortion. We want to overturn Roe versus Wade. We don't want any abortion. Whereas the left is like, we want it, to the up until the point of birth, if not after. I feel like the party that really embraces the more moderate take on this and really makes that their messaging.
The reasonable qualifications is going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're but obviously I believe it's closer towards zero abortion. But I think that if we're going to keep moving it culturally, you have to, move that over to the window.
Yeah, 100%.
So Scott, when did your wife find out? If I may ask, I don't want to put you on the spot, but how far along was your wife when she found she was pregnant?
It was within less than a month.
Right. So within a month, the woman knows, right?
Yeah, there's
usually you miss her cycle or something, or one of those things, one of those indicators that they would know without necessarily having to have the test kit.
She knew.
So
she
right,
knew.
right. So within the month, so you're looking at a 3-month period, the first trimester, roughly, when a decision needs to be made. Now, granted, the health issue is a different story because that can have an issue further down the line. But even with those situations now, like we were talking about, C-section and otherwise, where they can be extracted and kept alive and becomes a completely viable child, right? So that's where the battleground is, and where I believe, and I don't mean the radical left, but where the pro-abortion crowd that is not the whack job version of it has been indoctrinated into all that aspect of saying that it's not a viable, it's not a child, blah blah blah, let alone understanding the timeline and when things, because look at what happens when they're shown photos of a child's development, where they're at, and they freak out because they see what a child actually looks like at a certain point in time. They freak out when they see the results of an abortion, right? Why do they freak out? Because they know it's an assault on that infant, on that human being. They recognize that their position is not valid, and they freak out. And that's what they need to maintain. That's what the left needs to maintain. Otherwise, they will lose that ground. Because there aren't enough of the whack jobs that says, I've had 26 abortions, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, that's really well said, T, and I completely agree. All right, so let's get to Lindsey Graham's comments here, or to Donald Trump's response to Lindsey Graham, which I thought was pretty awesome. Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a great disservice to the Republican Party and our country. At first, he wanted no abortions under any circumstances. Then he was up to 6 weeks where you were allowed abortion. Now he's up to 15 weeks where you're allowed abortion. But what he doesn't understand, or perhaps he does, is the radical left Democrats who are destroying our country will never approve anything that he or the Republicans want. They love this issue, and they want to keep it going for as long as Republicans will allow them to do so. Terminating Roe versus Wade was, according to all legal scholars, a great, event. But sometimes with great events come difficulties. Many good Republicans lost elections because of this issue. And people like Lindsey Graham that are unrelenting are handing Democrats their dream of the House, Senate, and perhaps even the presidency. And there's a second part to this here. by allowing the states to make their decision and hoping that most Republicans running for office will have the sense, although they must always follow their heart, to require the exceptions of rape, incest, and life of the mother, we have taken the abortion issue largely out of play. When the Supreme Court had the courage to do the right thing legally and terminate Roe versus Wade, all those people, including Lindsey Graham and Marjorie Dannenfelser or Susan B. Anthony, that were hardliners, one day after the victory were gone and of absolutely no help. As the Democrats staged rallies and won elections they should have never won. Lindsey, Marjorie, and others fought for years unsuccessfully until I came along and got the job done. Then they were gone, never to be heard from again until now. We cannot let our country suffer any further, damaged by losing elections on the issue that should always have been decided by the states and now will be. So, I mean, Donald Trump gets it perfectly. And he calls out Lindsey Graham here in this first one, where he says, but what he doesn't understand, or perhaps he does. I mean, that right there, that what to me was the most enlightening part of the entire tweet, because he throws that, or perhaps he does, like kind of sending a shot. Like, I see you, Lindsey. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, and you need to stop. It almost felt like a stand down order to knock it off, because to me, I personally, knowing what a war hawk and disgusting human being Lindsey Graham is, I think that he is trying to throw elections to the Democrats. I think he's trying to hurt the Republican Party. He does not want MAGA majorities in the House. He does not want MAGA candidates crashing his establishment party in the Senate. He is scared to death that, you know, their day is coming, and he's going to be on the outside looking in. You know, he's not going to be able to work on behalf of his special interests. His power is going to decrease, and this new paradigm of what the Republican Party is has no place for him if it continues, if the America First movement continues to grow and prosper. So when Donald Trump says, or perhaps he does, to me, that's him basically firing a warning shot at Lindsey Graham, telling him to knock it the fuck off, because I will expose you. I will show the world who you really are. And we know who he is. We know who he is. He's the guy that wants to bomb every country he can freaking find. He wants to kill as many people overseas as possible. He wants to stuff the pockets of the military-industrial complex every single chance he gets. Again, Lindsey Graham is an absolutely disgusting piece of human garbage. And I don't believe for 1 second that his hardline stance on abortion has anything to do with his love for the unborn, his love for babies, or his religious beliefs or anything like that. I think he's a politician at heart. I think he understands what wins and loses elections. I think he understands the dynamics at play here. And he's trying to say things that would make a lot of conservatives happy, so they don't really suspect anything of him. But what he knows will turn moderates and the Democrats against them and increase their enthusiasm to go out and vote against his own party. And I 100% believe that's where he's coming from. So that's just my own personal thoughts. So I don't know if that's true. That's just the way I read the situation. All right, we are at 4:55 going into hour number 2. So that means it's time to go exclusively over to pilled.net for the second half of today's show. Those of you guys watching on Rumble, all you have to do is check beneath the live stream in the description to find the link to our pilled.net show. I've got the link in the live chat over there and on DLive as well for you guys to make it super easy. Just go ahead and click that link and you're in, or go to pilled.net on your browser. If you're on mobile, just look up at the top of the screen. You'll see thumbnails for all the live channels going. We are that black and gold thumbnail, 412 Productions. If you're on desktop, just look to the left. You'll see all the thumbnails over there on the left-hand side. Simply click the black and gold 412 Productions thumbnail, and you will be right on in here on the stream. I'm going to play a quick little video. We'll come back in 60 seconds. Say goodbye to the other platforms. Read your gold pill chats. We had lots of good stuff flowing in the first half. and then we'll continue on with our second hour. So get on over to the comfy bunker, pilled.net, and we'll see you guys there.
Pilled.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
Back. All right, we are back. Thank you to everyone who jumped over to Pilled.net from our other platforms. Again, if you want to do that, I put a link in the live chat on Rumble. I'll throw it down there one more time, or just go to the description beneath the stream on Rumble. You'll see the links right there. It's also on DLive as well. So I hope you guys will come over and join us. If you're not going to, no worries. We'll be back tomorrow on Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do a call-in music show or a normal deplorable discussions. I got to find out what my day looks like. But there's a chance we may just do a normal show tomorrow, because I think I might have the bandwidth to prep something. So just stay tuned. You'll know by the post around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon what kind of broadcast we're going to be doing. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to keep watching, we're going to keep going probably for about another 45 minutes or so over on Pilled.net. So I hope to see you guys over there. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll see you all on the next one.